Hello and welcome to this August 2nd, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Boley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today we are featuring Allergan, ticker symbol AGN. This is about an $18.6 billion healthcare company. Taking a look at the stock technically, a huge gap up back at the beginning of July. You can see we had closed down around the $58 area after putting in this hammer. Gapped up the next day to about $59.50, ran up as high as almost $65 before closing at about $62.25, and then you can see over the course of the next week or so, maybe a little bit more than a week, we ran all the way up to $67, right at the top, putting in this shooting star candle before reversing back down and effectively going back down and testing this gap support area. Last Friday as well as the Friday before, we saw some intraday moves down to that gap support area and even below it before reversing back up a week ago Friday. And then on Friday of this past week, not only did we go down and we test that gap support area, but notice the reversing candle that came into play here. This is a piercing candle. It falls just a little short of being a bullish engulfing candle, where the candle body on the reversal day completely engulfs the prior day's candle. In this case, a piercing candle is where the close actually doesn't engulf the prior day, but actually goes up into the top one half of that prior day's candle body. And off of a downtrend like we've seen over the course of the last 2 to 3 weeks, this is a fairly strong bullish signal for the stock in the near term, coming off of the gap support test. So what we would do is simply watch maybe $59, $59.50 in that range to the downside. Make sure we don't take any big losses here, but watch that to the downside. Top side with this kind of reversal, I would not be surprised to see us head back up beyond this candle, maybe up into the 65 area, which is where we kind of started to break down from, and possibly even as high as 67, which was that intraday high on that shooting star candle. So from a price volume perspective, I think AGN's looking pretty good on this reversal from Friday. Notice that the volume that came in with this gap at the beginning of July was very, very strong, well over 10 million shares, and even the heavy volume down action that we saw a little more than a week ago, a lot of that weakness during the day was reversed by the close, and AGN was able to hold on to its 50-day moving average and onto this gap support area. And these are the two really big areas we need to watch to the downside. From a MACD perspective, you can see the stock had gone straight up. MACD had gone straight up with this move to the upside. When we came back down here recently to test the gap support, you can see the MACDs come all the way back down to reset near the center line. So this one, from a MACD perspective, could go either way, but we like it from a price volume perspective. And looking at this reversal, it looks to us like the near-term likelihood of an advance is pretty strong. As far as the RSI and stochastics go, we were very overbought not that long ago. You can see the RSI was up near 70, stochastics were up in the mid-90s. Because of this weakness over the last couple weeks, both have pulled back substantially, with the RSI now down at the 44, 45 area and stochastics all the way back down into the 30s. So much, much better in terms of our oscillator readings, having seen some of this pullback. So watch this gap support area closely, right around 59.50. I think that's going to be the biggest level on the chart, and in the near term, I would expect to see higher prices. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at InvestedCentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.